Over the next few minutes, I'd like to share with you a little-known resource of an amply qualified and eligible workforce, just waiting for you to learn of them. I feel privileged to introduce to you members of this workforce that I've worked with for over 20 years as a human resource specialist. Like me, you will be amazed at their capacities and overwhelming qualifications, seeking quickly how to get in touch with any one of them. Let's watch.
My name is Diane Mervis. I am the director of the Client Assistance Program here at the Advocacy Center. We're a statewide nonprofit.
My name is Mitch Iddens. I'm the Independent Living Program Director for New Horizons Independent Living Center.
My name is Laura Jones, and I'm 28. I work at Bossier Parish Community College, and I'm a program coordinator for a learning center here, which is a tutoring center to help students with their classwork.
My name is Annetta Lay. I'm the Visual Impairment Services Team Coordinator here at the Overton Brooks VA Hospital.
My name's Darren Broussard. I'm 36 years old. I'm an independent living specialist, and I have cerebral palsy.
I am Cody Campbell. I was born deaf. Grew up all my life with deafness.
I have a physical disability. I broke my neck when I was 18 years old diving in a swimming pool, and I have a spinal cord injury.
I have cerebral palsy, and I've had it my whole life.
I am totally blind. I went legally blind when I was 13 and totally blind when I was 18.
And of all the clients I deal with, and most of the professionals, I don't think any of them would ever know that I'm a person with a chronic mental illness.
The person with the disability has all these barriers that we have to overcome on a daily basis just to get up and get going and to get out of the house. To even begin to think that I can go from here and take the next step to employment, you have to overcome a lot of psychological barriers, self-imposed barriers, self-imposed limitations.
Being able to work is so important, not just to me, but I think to the majority of people with significant disabilities.
I want the same things in life that everyone else wants. I want to be able to provide for my children like everyone else does.
I do not want to have to wait on somebody to take me to work. I don't want my future in anybody else's hands but mine and the good Lord's.
I can't stay home and sit at home all the time. I need to be more active in life. You know, I need to keep my body moving. I need to keep active, my brain active. I need to be busy. I'm not the kind of person that's just going to sit at home all the time.
Not only that, I want to be a part of something. I want to be a part of my community. I want to be included. You know, having a disability doesn't mean that I don't have the same desires as anybody else. Of course I do.
I think it's critical for people with disabilities not to feel like they need to be shut up and put away somewhere. Working for anybody is defining who you are. It's defining your character. It's a way to sort of grow up and be a part of the world.
Working is important to them. They don't want to be at home. They want to be involved with society. They want to be involved with doing things that are positive and that are productive. Employees who are considered disabled actually, in my experience, work much harder than individuals who don't have that problem.
I think people with disabilities that are truly dedicated to working and being employed typically are better workers because we have something to prove. We do have somewhat of a chip on our shoulder. You know, we want to prove to everybody that the disability that you see is secondary.
One of the things that I appreciate about my disability is the fact that it gives me the chance to bust myths, and I love that. I love the idea that I get to challenge what people think about disabilities every day.
I think those of us in the workforce are even more aware of serving as a role model and making sure that some of those tags, I don't want to put on me.
I want to prove that I'm your best employee, and so does anybody else with a disability.
It's really a common misconception that it costs a lot of money because there are so many things that could be done so simply Some may not even cost anything, such as just removing a chair from a desk so that a wheelchair can roll up.
Thanks to the advances in wheelchair technology, especially the one I have now, I'm not really limited to anything. I mean, I can do or go anywhere that an able-bodied employee could.
I have 2 hearing workers that work with me. Both of them use body language, and they write notes on paper. And they have hand signs that they do to me so that we can communicate. Or I can even sometimes, if it's a real important meeting, I use an interpreter.
If you're considering hiring somebody with a disability, transportation back and forth to work shouldn't be your problem. Most of the time the person will have a means of transportation, or they would never even apply for a job.
Showing up to work on time is very important for me because I know that goes into being a responsible employee, and I know how important that is.
I'm never late for work. I get up in the morning, I have a special alarm that my bed vibrates and wakes me up. I'm not going to be late for work.
The accommodations I've needed have been fairly simple. I've needed to use my vacation days, sometimes for medical reasons. Those are fairly simple things, no different than you would make an accommodation if an employee broke a leg or had a baby.
So many employers don't understand that the benefit that they're going to get from that person who is disabled is going to be much more benefit than the cost of just reasonable accommodation.
As an employer, and I would say this to all out there who are looking for excellent employees, don't look past those who show disabilities on the application form. You don't want to let preconceived ideas about a disabled person interfering with you hiring a very, very capable person.
Don't be hesitant to talk to the person and ask them how they do things. They have a way of doing anything. It's so common to me to solve something. I don't have to think about it. And they would be the same way. Ask them if you're worried about something, how they would do it, and they probably can answer the question.
Yes, my legs are affected, but I can hear perfectly well. You don't have to scream at me from across the room. Like everybody else, I think a little differently, but that's with everybody. Then you don't have to have a disability to think differently.
Don't be misled by someone simply using a wheelchair or some other mobility device, cane or some crutches that comes into your place of business, or if someone comes in with a hearing aid or any assistive device. It's simply to help them to achieve their activities of daily living and get through everyday life.
An environment that is made suitable for work will allow anyone to work. You give people the right equipment that they need to function and watch them go.
Typically, well, in Louisiana, when you meet someone, the first thing it's, where you from? Who's your mama? But then we ask, what do you do? And we're not asking about their hobby. When we ask, what do you do? We're asking, what kind of work do you do? People with disabilities want to be able to say, I am director of the Client Systems Program. I am an attorney. I am a teacher. I am a mechanic.
People ask me all the time if I think that my disability is a barrier to working or doing other things, and I don't think it is. I think it's a matter of perspective, and my perspective is always that I'm professional and I'm going to show up and do my job and do it well and do it better than everyone else.
We all want to be appreciated. We all want to be recognized for our abilities, not our disabilities. Society has handicapped all of us, and we have to overcome the society problem. It's not my blindness that's the problem. It's everybody's attitude towards my blindness, because I've conquered it.
I don't know a better way to help foster a more independent and fulfilling life than to do it through employment. It's the key to opening the door to other opportunities. You know, you go to work, you make money. What are you going to do with that money? You're going to spend it. And where are you going to spend it? You're going to spend it in your community. You're going to go to the movies with your kids and spend that money. You know, you're going to go to the grocery store.
We pay taxes, we spend money. We make good employees. We have a lot to contribute to the economy and to the workplace.
You will have a dedicated employee because as an employer, you are actually making a decision based on what that person can do for you, and without stating it, that person is very, very appreciative of you as an employer making decisions based on their ability, not their disability.
I've been with the government as November the 15th, 28 years. That's a long time, and I'm proud of it.
I go out of my way to market my employer, to say wonderful things about the college that I work for, because I believe it. They gave me a chance. They give students a chance every day. So why wouldn't I be passionate and be excited about the place I work when they gave me a shot?
Life is short. We only got one shot at it. With or without a disability, you got to make the best of it. You got to get out there and get busy living.
Now that you've been introduced to this viable workforce, learning that there are little to no barriers or accommodations necessary to employ these outstanding candidates, let me provide you some contact information that will help you select candidates from this workforce for your next employment choice.